Wednesday.
What is going on, guys? The Death of Ultimate Spider-Man issue 158, the next issue in the death storyline of Spider-Man. At the end of the previous issue, we saw Spider-Man get shot by the Punisher by diving in front of the bullet to save Captain America, and now in this issue we're going to see the after effects of that and how it's affected Peter and what he's going through right now, the pain, and how the Sinister Six is going to deal with Spider-Man when it gets there. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into this awesome comic. First off, we go to the Sinister Six actually visiting the Tinkerer, and as you can see there, he's actually working on the Beetle's helmet. And they've basically gone there to get their equipment back because the Tinkerer is actually, I don't know whether he made it or whether he's holding it for him, I can't quite remember. But eventually they do get their equipment anyway because Norman Osborn turns into the Goblin and basically the Tinkerer just gives in and lets them take whatever they want. Then moving on, we actually go over to Ultimate Spider-Man and we get to see the aftermath as what has happened to him after he's been shot. Now, in case you're wondering where the Ultimates are and the rest of the superheroes, it's in another comic, it's only a few panels, but Captain America actually picks up Spider-Man and says, wow, you're going to be the greatest hero out of all of us when you're older, because he literally took a bullet for Captain America. Now, if I remember correctly, the bridge actually explodes and then the rest of the Ultimates and the other superheroes actually have to go off and fight for this thing and save the world or something like that, if I remember. Anyway, and it's in another comic, I think it's called Avengers vs Ultimates or something like that, and it's only a few panels long, but basically Captain America reassures Spider-Man that he's going to be okay because he's only been shot. Like, obviously a lot worse has happened to other people and they've survived, so a bullet isn't really going to kill him. But then the bridge explodes and they all get separated and they have to go off, and Spider-Man is pretty much left for dead, and he's basically debating about if he goes to the hospital, that is going to be it. He's going to have to reveal his identity, and of course, it's kind of depressing, like, what kind of responsibilities Spider-Man has, because just as he's about to go over to the hospital, he sees the Sinister Six flying over the bridge to go to his house, and he's trying to think, should he go and fight the Sinister Six or go to the hospital? But because of this, with great power comes great responsibility. Obviously, he chooses to go and fight the Sinister Six instead of going to the hospital to get sorted out. But anyway, moving on, we are actually with Johnny Storm and Bobby. Now, I can't remember Bobby's second name for some random reason. But yeah, basically Iceman and the Human Torch. Now, if you remember me telling you, in the Ultimate Universe, Johnny Storm, Human Torch and Iceman both live with Peter. And obviously they don't know that Peter's in trouble and that Gwen and Aunt May have left the city. And basically they open the door to the entire Sinister Six just stood there in their street asking, like, because obviously the Sinister Six know who Peter is now. Like, they know where he lives, they know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And of course, what's really, really cool and awesome is the fact that some of these villains, like some of the Sinister Six, don't actually know who Johnny Storm and Bobby are. Like, they don't know that they're the Human Torch, and they don't know that it's Iceman. So when they activate the powers, Electro is just like, what the hell? Like, they completely didn't expect it to be the Human Torch, which is just awesome. But one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is that why would Johnny Storm think that he can defeat a creature that also uses fire as his main attack? Like, wouldn't you have Iceman fighting Green Goblin and Johnny Storm fighting Electro and Kraven and that? I mean, I just don't get that, but of course, the other villains of the Sinister Six jump straight into the fight, and basically, Sandman has the perfect powers to put out Johnny Storm, doesn't he? I mean, like, he basically just defeats Human Torch in one. Like, he just, like, does one hit and he's completely down. Now, just a bit of backstory on Kraven. Kraven the Hunter in the Ultimate Universe is actually a reality TV show star, so, like, look, if I remember correctly, his TV show was actually about going capturing, like, creatures, and of course he saw Spider-Man as, like, this new creature that he could beat, and basically Spider-Man just took him out in one punch. Now, because that was recorded for his TV show and everything, basically his ratings went down, like, so that's the grudge that Kraven has against Spider-Man, because basically Spider-Man ruined his TV show by making him look like a fool. One thing I don't understand though is that Kraven the Hunter is literally just a man with big muscles in the Ultimate Universe. That's why he's shooting guns and not actually capturing and fighting with his bare hands, because he's not actually got any powers in the Ultimate Universe. So in case you guys didn't know that, now you do. But yeah, then we go over to Iceman and Electro, and of course, everything, like Iceman's just getting flung through windows and stuff like that. Now, one thing that I just think is such common sense is that Iceman tries fighting a guy with electricity. Like, why would he not think that, of course, he's definitely going to get electrocuted? But then we have this awesome, absolutely awesome shot of Spider-Man standing in the light at the end of the street, and of course Vulture just flies towards him, and basically Peter Parker just lobs him out of like the street or whatever, over the houses. And this awesome part at the end where he just says, "Who's next?" And then the comic ends, and definitely one of the coolest endings to a comic ever. But one thing I don't understand is that what you've got to remember is that all of these villains now recognize Spider-Man as Peter Parker, but why did he take his mask off? Because just because the villains like the Sinister Six know that he's Peter Parker doesn't mean everybody else knows that he's Peter Parker. So why did he take his mask off? Because now the entire street can see that it's actually Peter Parker as Spider-Man. But yeah, I'm going to give this issue probably a 9 out of 10 again, just because of how awesome the fighting was, and especially the ending and just the responsibility that Peter Parker feels to, like, instead of going to the hospital, he goes to save his friends and his family and stuff like that. It's just awesome. And the art as well. Mark Bagley's doing the art again, and I think it makes the comic a million times better when Mark Bagley is doing the art for the comic. It just looks so beautiful in my eyes. I mean, it's just awesome. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this specific comic, and what you guys thought about Peter, like, dealing with the bullet wound and just going off fighting anyway. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like my video, and of course don't forget to go to the link in the description and follow me on Twitter, and of course don't forget to subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in my next video.